So, as we've been hearing, the Labour leader then out and about campaigning in Harlow, talking about housing, and Labour have, as you just heard, promised to build 1 million homes over 5 years, half of which would be council houses. But the Conservatives say they are the party with a clear plan for affordable housing. So how do the figures stack up? Well, Chris Morris of Reality Check is going to look through the numbers for us. Chris.
Yeah, thanks, Ben. We can expect all the political parties to come out with pledges and targets on how many houses they plan to build throughout the course of the next Parliament. But it's a notoriously difficult area of policy to get right. So as we know, Labour's now pledged to build 1 million homes over the next 5 years. Half of them affordable council and housing association homes to rent or buy. Is that realistic? Well, since the 1970s, there have been on average 160,000 new homes built each year in England. Last year, that figure fell to 140,000 in England, and the figure for the whole of the UK was 168,000. But a government white paper published in February said the consensus is that we need to build from 225 to 275,000 or more homes per year, just to keep up with population growth and to tackle years of undersupply. So who's been doing the building? Well, according to official statistics, the last Labour government built nearly 1.2 million houses across the UK between March 2004 and March 2010. From April 2010 to March 2016, first the Coalition and then the Conservative government built about 874,000 homes. You have to take account, of course, of the state of the economy at the time. But the biggest need is to make housing more affordable. 20 years ago, working people, on average, were paying around 3.6 times their annual earnings to buy a home in England and Wales. Last year, though, the average was more than double that, with people having to spend 7.6 times their annual earnings to buy a property. That difference is down to house prices rising at a much higher rate than earnings. Between 1997 and last year, house prices rose by 259%. But average earnings over the same period increased by just 68%. So that's led to home ownership in England falling to its lowest level since 1985. It's now 8% lower than in the peak in 2003. And of course, the people most affected by this are those who are just starting out. Nearly half of all 24 to 35-year-olds in England are renting privately, a figure that's almost doubled over the past decade. Little wonder then that this year's white paper referred to a broken housing market that is in urgent need of fixing.